Welcome to Next Level English. Today, we're diving into a fun and challenging quiz on English conjunctions. We've got 40 multiple choice questions to test your knowledge. So, grab a pen and let's get started. 1. I stayed home. It was raining outside. Because. Tips, use because to explain a reason. 2. You can have tea, coffee, but not both. 4. Tips, or is used for choices. 3. He works hard. He may succeed. 'So'. Tips, so expresses purpose or result. 4. I missed the bus. I had to walk home. 'So'. Tips, so explains the consequence. 5. We will go out. It stops raining. 'If'. Tips, if introduces a condition. 6. We will finish the project on time. We all work together. 'If'. Tips, if introduces conditions. 7. I was tired. I went to bed early. 'So'. Tips, so explains a result. 8. Do you know? He will come to the party? 'Whether'. Tips, whether introduces a choice. 9. She left early. She wasn't feeling well. 'Because'. Tips, because gives a reason. 10. You can stay here. You behave yourself. 'If'. Tips, if introduces a condition. 11. It was raining. We decided to stay inside. 'So'. Tips, so explains a result. 12. We stayed up late. We had a lot of work to finish. 'Because'. Tips, because explains a reason. 13th. They won't leave. You ask them to. 'Until'. Tips, until sets a condition. 14th. She wanted to go to the park. It was raining heavily. 'But'. Tips, but indicates a contrast or unexpected situation. 15th. He is not only intelligent, also hardworking. 'But'. Tips, use not only, but also to show two related qualities. 16th. We can eat pizza, We can order pasta. Or tips or presents an alternative option. 17. I was tired. I went to bed early. So, tips so expresses a consequence or result. 18. You study hard, you will pass the exam. If tips if introduces a condition. 19th. She didn't call. I was worried. Therefore. Tips therefore indicates a logical conclusion. 20. He likes coffee. She prefers tea. But tips but shows contrast between preferences. 21st. They went to the beach. The weather was nice. Because tips because introduces a reason for an action. 22. I will not go. You come with me. Unless. Tips unless indicates a condition that must be avoided. 23. He is both talented, creative. Tips both and joins two similar things or qualities. 24. She is a good cook. She is not a great baker. Yet. Tips yet introduces a contrast or something unexpected. 25. He ran fast. He could win the race. So that. Tips so that shows the purpose of an action. 26. It rained, we still enjoyed the picnic. Although. Tips although introduces a contrast despite the situation. 27. The movie was long. It was interesting. But. Tips but shows contrast despite the movie's length. 28. I love to read. My brother prefers to watch TV. Yet. Tips yet presents a contrast in preference. 29. He arrived late. He missed the beginning. Therefore. Tips therefore indicates a consequence of being late. 30. She didn't like the color. She bought the dress anyway. However. Tips, however, introduces a contrast despite the dislike. 31. They played well. They didn't win. but tips, but shows the contrast between playing well and not winning. 32. You are tired, you can take a break. If. Tips, if presents a condition for taking a break. 33. He went to the library. He needed to study. Because. Tips, because explains the reason for going to the library. 34. The cake is delicious. It is very sweet. Yet. Tips, yet shows a contrasting quality despite being delicious. 35. She has a car. She often walks to work. But. Tips, but indicates a contrast with owning a car. 36. It was cold, he still went for a swim. Even though. Tips, even though shows contrast despite the cold weather. 37. He was very talented. He lacked experience. But. Tips, but presents a contrast in his qualities. 38. He is not only intelligent, also hardworking. But. Tips, use not only, but also to show two related qualities. 39. We can eat pizza. We can order pasta. Or. Tips, or presents an alternative option. 40. I like both tea, coffee. Tips, and is used to connect similar ideas. If you enjoyed this quiz, don't forget to like the video, comment your answers below, and subscribe to Next Level English for more fun English learning challenges.